viewers out there. I'm your goddess mascot here with Trucker Man. I'm reacting to...
Lawyer reviews leaked Vshojo contract. I think Nux is like cheering this. We're not moving to Ohio. Stop looking.
I want to go to that house. That house is nice.
The Vshojo contract has leaked. Well, a Vshojo contract has leaked, and it's very relevant to the current downfall of the company and perhaps the contracts that are being pushed in front of talents right now as they try to negotiate, settle out, and end their relationship with the failed company Vshojo. So we're going to be going over that contract today.
Would you even consider Vshojo an actual company?
Yeah, they were a company.
They were?
They were. They're going to be pink. They're going to not be.
Wait. I just can't wait for Friday, since that'll involve... Oh, that was this Friday.
Was a company.
You're referring to something we already did, but I'll do more videos on Code 727. I'm really... No. I'll do another one if I have to. I will. I can find more videos to react to for Code 27. Dude, check me out on the Code 27 doody-doo. Give me hearties if you don't mind making an account there and junk. I could really appreciate the votes. I really want to win that, or at least get second or third place, because that would be really cool.
And money would help too.
On the legal mindset, we teach you to be your own judge. Of course, I'm Andrew Esquire, attorney. And this is something that I love to do going through contracts. It brought me on the VTuber scene going through the Niji Sanji contract. So we've got one today. I've broken it up a little bit differently for this Fast Facts version. Of course, if you like the Fast Facts, like the video and leave a comment below. For the Fast Facts,
You want to pull it up real quick?
Okay. Yeah.
Where do I click on it?
Oh, give it the arrows. There you go, all the way on the bottom, right there. That's the website. If you check out my posts on YouTube, you're on YouTube? No, you're on Twitch. Okay, you need to go on YouTube. You check my posts on YouTube, and you could go to this website. There I am, right there. Yeah, I already, dude, I already, like, get out.
Okay, I'll back up. I can hit it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah. This is my character submitting, so obviously it's me. It's my Nazca. I would love to be the face of Cybran. I mean, I don't need to win because I've already kickstarted with them, so I will be getting my Cybran, but I wouldn't mind being a mascot for them.
Alright.
27 vote, please. Yeah, I hope it goes well with the contest, but don't worry, it's still in the submission portion. The voting doesn't start until October. I will definitely have updates for that.
Alright, back to this.
Yep, was
going to be doing a very quick
oh, you broke it.
Summary of the contract language. We're going to go through all the relevant points, which I've cropped out. If you want a very detailed analysis where we really go into the meat of it, check out the live. That'll be a much longer version where I will go into much deeper detail. But we've got the quick version for you guys today, of course, on the legal mindset. And of course, we've got a PowerPoint, yes, on the exposing...
PowerPoint!
We need to get PowerPoint so we can make a video on that scam artist.
I love PowerPoint! Vshojo contract explode. Oof. Almost threw up. I burped up. Burp up?
Burp up.
Where you burp and you throw up a little bit in your mouth.
The Vshojo contract. So here we go. The background on this contract. This is a new contract that was sent to me this week. It is for an employee that was terminated from Vshojo. Now, to be very clear, I'm saying employee. Typically, most VTuber companies, including Vshojo. Okay,
so when he says employee, I'm guessing this wasn't a VTuber employee. This was actually a physical employee that they terminated.
Yeah, either it was like a moderator or it was an artist or who knows.
I'm happy with my PNG too, but I just need to set up a few more things before I stream. Awesome, awesome.
I should get my V2 model here by hopefully here in a month. Our person's been going along smoothly.
Hold on, I gotta brain fart here for a second. Are you sheepy? I just want to make sure.
Let's continue on.
I get
Do not
confused.
consider the
Yep,
talent
okay.
employees. They
That
consider
makes
them
sense
independent
now.
contractors or some sort of other non-employee worker. They do not consider them employees. So there are some relevant parts of this. There are some
Yeah,
parts of this
big
contract
scam,
that are
this
not relevant or wouldn't be relevant to Vshojo talents
Construct.
necessarily.
Contract-wise.
However, I believe many of the clauses are, including the ones that I've included in this PowerPoint in this presentation. So a lot of the information you're going to see today is absolutely 100%.
That's fine. I
You
used
use two different usernames, login, on story, and
That's fine.
I was just, yeah, you didn't have a similar name, so my brain was like, I couldn't recognize you and junk, but the way you were talking is like, I think I know who you could be. And also because that's the Twitch instead of YouTube. Sorry, being weird. It's me. It's Moo.
Relevant to either what was already signed by the Vshojo talent or what they are trying to get them to sign right now. I guarantee you that something like this is being pushed in front of some of the talents. I guarantee you that some of the talents have signed a document very much like this, similar to this, et cetera, because as an attorney, I can tell you that attorneys are lazy. They like to use templates, they do the same forms. So I guarantee you that a lot of the same language is probably going in front of the talent right now. Now, while this is not a talent contract, I did previously review a talent contract from Vshojo. Now, a lot of people asked me to disclose that, to show that. Obviously, there were confidentiality concerns, which there still are today, in terms of being able to identify who that was, and the individual asked me not to disclose it. Therefore,
funny thing, Twitch will be impacted with this lawsuit. Ooh, really?
Because Gunrun used to be a founder of Twitch. The guy that ran Vshojo was one of the founding guys who founded Twitch back in the day, before they sold it to Amazon.
Oh.
Yeah.
But wait, if he sold it and stuff, how is that going to affect Twitch then?
Because probably a lot of the shit he did at Vshojo, he also probably did at Twitch.
Oh. Was there like
just brain farting on that. I'm not 100% on that.
Okay. Huh. Interesting.
Taking attorney-client privilege here, I'm going to say, hey, I'm not going to disclose that information at all whatsoever. But I will say,
Twitch finally gave revenue Oh, okay. I didn't know that. So they gave, I guess, Iron Mouse's, and I guess all their talents revenue straight to Gunrun.
What was Gunrun?
That's the guy who founded Vshojo. That's the guy that caused all the shit.
Oh, so basically they gave all the money to side... Oh.
Pretty much.
Oh. Well, someone needs to go to jail.
Some things that are the same, and there's some points that I'm going to point out which are similar to the Vshojo contract. So pay attention to these clauses because these may be in some contracts with talents that you enjoy and that you love and that you follow. And also, there will be private information that is going to be redacted. So you're going to see that mainly in one slide, and that's to protect the privacy. Of course, I respect the privacy of the talents above all because I believe as a part of the VTuber community, as someone who loves the VTuber community, VTuber fans, they always put...
I didn't know Legal Masha was a VTuber?
He's a VTuber fan.
No, he's a VTuber. He's the most realistic VTuber there is out there.
I told you Frogan's technically she's a VTuber.
No. I don't accept her. So really, I know he's got such an amazing VTube model.
The talent want to put the talent first. That's something that Vshojo was supposed to do, but they failed in that. But you know what? Legal mindset will not fail in trying to protect the talent first. So here we go. This is a separation and release of claims agreement. So this is the form. Now, this is not the agreement for employment. Right? So it's not the employment agreement. This is actually separation agreement. So this is what you would get them to sign at the end of their employment. So why this is relevant right now is because you would want all of the talents on the way out to sign an agreement like this. Some of them may have already signed this and may have already been out. Some of them may have not. Some of them may have refused to sign. They may have come to an impasse. But certainly...
Okay, so this is something they force them to sign when they want to quit?
Yeah, and I just like, well, you guys owe me money. I'm not going to sign shit, and I'm just going to leave and get a lawyer on you.
Yeah, I would not.
I know lawyers cost money, but you don't tell me there ain't a lawyer that wouldn't represent you for free. They do pro bono.
Legal mindset, maybe.
Yeah, I don't think it's in his cup of tea. He could get Ethan Klein's lawyer.
Most of the employees, which is what we're dealing with today, would have signed this. And one reason why you haven't heard a lot is probably because they signed this. And once you see the clauses, you're going to understand why they haven't spoken up. So this is obviously between Vshojo, which is a Delaware corporation. Many corporations formed in Delaware, very common.
Nex's cousins.
Lately, the Delaware law...
Yeah, get in touch with Nux and ask to get hold of his cousins.
Yeah.
Has been not so good for corporations, but historically it has been predictable at least. So a lot of corporations are formed in Delaware. And then, of course, the talent, or the employee rather, which is blocked out. So you see here, what this does is it says, hey, after this agreement is signed, you're no longer an employee. You can't say you're an employee. This is effectively a termination. So the termination is as of the date of this agreement. So they can argue that before this agreement, they were still employed by Vshojo and they were not formally terminated. I cannot say the date, but let's just say it's in the recent past. That's good enough. It's within the scope of time probably in which Vshojo was not paying its bills and not paying talent. I can say that safely because they weren't paying the talent for a very long time. Further, you've got terms like return of property. So this is something pretty common.
Is it funny that as soon as I look at this clip that he showing, my eyes directly went straight to the word sexual?
What?
That is literally the first thing I saw when I looked at this.
Oh, yeah, exactly. My mouse...
Many of you probably see this. If you ever get terminated from a job or you have to leave, you probably have to return stuff like your badges, your codes, your laptops, computers, mobile phones, all that other sort of stuff. But the one thing that's interesting to me is electronically stored documents and files or physical files. So an interesting thing is to me, did they require them to send back logs, to send back chats? What was assets? What sort of assets or other things were required to send back?
Well, that's a good question because they came in with their models. So
I guess yeah, they don't own any of their
assets for a stream. How you send back a digital asset?
Wait. So basically they're trying to say when you leave, you have to leave your model that we didn't give to you, that you brought in yourself?
I'm not sure. I think like stream assets, like transitions, background shit like we buy.
Okay.
Background music.
They gave them those?
Yeah, but here's the question. How do you ask back? I can just copy and paste.
You just don't use them anymore. I guess you just delete them. Otherwise, I guess they'll go on like a YouTube or whatever else you decide to stream on and be like, hey, this is a copyright, and strike you.
Yeah, true.
That weren't completed. Things were halfway through. Things they could have used because remember, Vshojo is unique in that the talents own the IP. So were there things that were almost ready to go to the talents, ready to go to Iron Mouse or Kson or somebody else that they took back? Probably. Okay. There's also a bunch of representations in here, which are interesting, that the employee isn't suing.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I had to go through so many of our videos to replace and remove music that you originally put on there. It said when you used that music that it was copyright free. There was supposed to be no strings attached, but then out of the blue, we start getting revenue sharing and or copyright ownership, whatever.
Yeah.
That we couldn't.
Every day I gotta go through like old streams from like 6 months ago. I gotta mute that. I just mute them because it's usually during the.
I replaced the audio.
I remember this.
I remember those such BS.
Yeah.
Sounds like they forced them to send back any information that could hurt them in a legal battle.
Just copy and paste.
Yeah.
Them hasn't filed any claims, hasn't filed any sexual harassment or discrimination or abuse claims. These are very interesting, and also any claims for wages, because we know, and this is a very interesting fact, that separate from all this, there were allegations of misconduct, workplace
Oh.
misconduct. We're talking uncomfortable situations, which could have been based on just what the information out there, we can't say for sure, but could have potentially been sexual harassment or workplace power situations, maybe quid pro quo, some sort of weird.
So what? Did these guys just like randomly pick
Yeah.
a VTuber and then send her like maybe like dick pics or something?
Or said stuff around them that was uncomfortable, or like me grabbing
Hitting
a
on him? Stop it.
grabbing a boob.
I doubt it was that much.
I don't know, because I can't. I've heard stuff, but stuff I can't confirm. It probably will come out over time.
Right.
But they're trying to make them sound right. They're right to complain about that, and you can't do that.
Situation in the workplace. So this is interesting. So all of those employees that may have been intimidated or harassed may feel, hey, we signed a separation agreement, therefore we can't bring those. Now, the fun fact here, and this is something that should be reminded to many of the talents, is if they truly broke the law, if they truly went out there and committed crimes, committed harassment, labor violations, no agreement is going to protect them from that.
Yeah.
And just because they offered you a little bit of money, and we're going to see here the amount of money, that's not enough to buy them out. That's not enough to get them out. So from those type of claims. So let's continue here. So here we go. The separation benefits. So this is interesting. For every contract, you have to have what's called consideration. You have to have something of value exchanged. So right here is a lump payment of $6,600, right? Which will be paid no later than 6 days from the separation date or 6 days from.
Okay, so you want to quit? You have to pay $600.
No, they paid them $6,000 to basically separate, because you're paying off the rest of. It's like if you get laid off, sometimes companies will give you like a severance.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah. So they get a lump sum of like $600 before taxes, by the way.
I love the sixes, by the way.
A weekend or federal holiday after. So, it's a modest payment. I mean, that's a reasonable payment. Not
They're missing a
massive
six.
amount of money.
No, wait, no. We did get our 3 sixes. We got 6,600 in 6 days. There you go. There's your demon.
100,000 or 50,000 or 20,000. Probably about a month, 2 months, or 3 months. I don't know how much they're paid, but a couple months of labor. Typically, most terminations or separations will give you a month or two, and maybe 3 of wages. So that would fall in line there. Also, it talks about continuing to pay healthcare. And very importantly, at the bottom here, which is one of the reasons why a lot of people sign these agreements, is because they want a letter of recommendation. So what this says here is they will not give a recommendation, but they will confirm employment with the employer. Now, what's interesting here is a lot of people.
Oh, so play ball with them and they'll help you get your new job. Otherwise, there'll be a hindrance in you getting a new job.
Which, by the way, that's. Technically, they can't legally do that. He'll go into it, but legally, all they have to do is say, yeah, he worked here, and yeah, these are the days he worked. These are the months or years he worked here. That's all they can do.
They want a good recommendation. They want something coming out there. Listen, it's not worth it from Vshojo. And second of all, that's what they're legally required to do. An employer is legally required to just confirm you work there and the dates you work there. They don't have to say anything else, right? And there can be problems if they disparage you, if they say something negative about you, particularly if that's not true. There can be massive issues with that. So while a lot of people want that, they want to be on good terms, it's a very, they're not giving you much more than is legally required, which, once again, in a lot of these contracts, you think they're giving you something, but they're really giving you a nothing burger. Beyond that here, they're saying, hey, we're giving you benefits that are in excess. We're giving you more than you're entitled to, which is very interesting because there could be
more than you're entitled to. Apparently, they weren't even entitled to their own paychecks.
Apparently.
Many things are entitled to: overtime, materials, other things they were not paid for, not reimbursed for. So what they're trying to say is, hey, we're wiping out your claims for anything else we may owe you. So that's wiped out there. They're also giving a general release from claims. Now, once again, this is the big blockbuster. We are released from all claims, demands, actions, judgments, liabilities, expenses, blah, blah, blah. Every single contract out there in the world is going to have this waiver clause. I've written it 1,000 times, at least, not 1,000,000, but at least 1,000 times in contracts. Very, very, very standard. I don't think this would once again prevent them from any criminality or any regulatory action. Beyond that, there's a lot of other claims they try to get out of too. The Title 7, American with Disabilities Act, FMLA, Family Medical Leave Act.
So they're trying to get you to sign off to basically all the labor laws passed in the United States in the last 50 years.
Wait. Okay, you're gonna have to explain a lot to me. My mind's just kind of wandering now.
These are all like the labor laws and stuff that's been passed in the United States in the last like 50 years. They're trying to get them to sign away the right to those.
Oh!
Labor Standards Act, the Employee Retirement Income, the Civil Rights Act, the Worker Adjustment Act, the National Labor Relations, Uniform Services, the Genetic...
So basically it's a deal with the devil kind of contract.
That a judge seizes and will throw it out immediately because you can't do that.
Yeah, if it was not for those contracts, so many evil companies would be exposed.
Information Non-Discrimination Act, the Immigration Reform Act, the Texas Labor Code, the Whistleblower Acts in Texas and elsewhere, in Washington as well. We'll talk about Washington law later. A lot of these things that they are saying they're getting out of, they cannot actually get out of. If they truly violated those, even this...
So ultimately, this contract means nothing. It's basically just trying to sign away your rights, but ultimately, even if you sign it, you still would have access to all those by constitutional something America something cow.
Yeah.
Agreement they could come back on. So a lot of this is to make you believe that you're out of it, but whether or not that's actually effective, that is up to a court, and a court could decide, hey, no, you crossed a line, and in fact, we're going to hold you liable under those acts. They're also saying, hey, we're releasing all claims for compensation, tort damages, sick pay, any other attorney's fees, and trying to get out from anything. But what they even acknowledge here is, hey, in their own contract, they say, hey, there are certain types of claims and civil actions and enforcements, according to government agencies or courts, that you cannot get out of. And there are certain claims that can...
So basically, that this company can't get out of giving to its employees.
Yeah.
Even though they're trying to say, oh, you signed a waiver that you gave all this up, but they can't take it away.
Yeah.
If it was not okay. This is why you always read the fine print. Yeah, it's more than just reading it. It's also they're trying to take away stuff that can't be taken away. But I don't see why anyone would be willing to let those things be taken away in the first place, too. So yeah.
Cannot be waived
you get
by
pressured
law.
into
so
it.
Even in their own contract, they tell on themselves. They really say, hey, there's certain things that can be claimed by law. And in fact, many of the things above, some of those can't entirely be disclaimed by a simple waiver, especially if the behavior was negligent or egregious. And in the case of Vshojo, we may very well have negligent, egregious behavior. We've seen that with the leaks that are getting out there where, hey, it's looking like Gun Run knew. They knew. The leadership knew.
Have you seen
At what point does it become grossly negligent, extremely negligent, or even willful, and just totally void this waiver, right? And that is a very good question. Next, they say, hey, you knowingly read this. You had your attorney look at it, right? You know what's going on here. That is something that is very, very important. You had an ability to consult an attorney, because otherwise it would be under duress, right? But in an even more important part here is...
Did any of these people actually have an attorney look at it?
I think a couple people that were going to, like Bao was thinking of going to Vshojo. Or was it Shiloh? One of the two. They had an attorney like try to read the contract, and Vshojo was getting impatient, so she ripped it up. Like, she's like, nope, if I'm not allowed to read this with an attorney, I'm not signing it.
Good, yeah.
Non-disparagement. This is huge. And this is...
okay. You confused me. I thought you were saying the person from Vshojo ripped it up.
No, she
ripped it up because...
Well, I'm using it metaphorically. She probably just told him no. But basically, you get my point. It's like, no, I'm not signing it if I'm not allowed to read it.
Right. That's why if you have a lawyer read the contract before you sign it.
Why a lot of the talents are probably wanting to stay silent. Because they're looking at this covenant here, this promise,
red
where the employee agrees that they will not at any time There's no expiration date on this. Forever and ever. Make, publish, communicate to any person, entity, or any public forum. That will be Twitter, X, that will be YouTube, that will be Twitch, that will be any other platform, saying anything defamatory or even disparaging. So disparaging can be true. Comments, statements concerning the employer's business or any employees now or in the future. So, for example, if they were sexually harassed.
I get what he's about to say here. So, regardless if apparently, say you have the manager of Vshojo and he does the essay to you, you can't talk about it.
Try to do Bill Cosby on you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there ain't no contract in the world that's going to save you from that.
And that's why we love USA. I see a few red flags of that contract. Yeah, that right there.
Oh, contract's a red
Harassed by an
flag.
employee, they're expecting them to stay silent? No, you don't have to. And this non-disparagement clause is what I hope that all the talents are speaking to their attorneys about, because what is non-disparagement is in the eyes of the beholder. What Gun Run may not want you to say, well, maybe you can say it because it was in fact illegal.
Yeah.
Now, here's a big one, and this is a giant one, which may or may not also be in the talent contracts. Jurisdiction, venue, and governing law. They put it under the law of Washington. That's very interesting, guys. Why would they put this under the law of Washington when they are a California company? Well, there's a reason for that, and that's because wash of choice of law. Vshojo chose Washington over California because Washington has more favorable, less restrictive laws than California. The employment...
Wow, okay, so Washington's worse than California. Good to know.
Yeah, but the problem is the judge can say, no, you're a California company, and you got to follow California laws.
So they can't just pick and choose what states' laws they follow.
And that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah. Okay. So three states in America I'd never want to go to: California, Washington, and New York.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 states I would never want to go to.
I think next year we're going to Florida.
I like Florida.
Yes, don't go during a hurricane. I think I just got notice on my phone saying one's coming to Florida.
Florida was
requirements
fun.
are less. The wage and hour requirements are less. The non-compete clauses. Non-complete clauses
New York
are
is
okay in Washington. They're not okay in California. California has a broad prohibition against them. And despite all this...
I don't know. I don't even think I'd want to visit New York.
Don't ride the subway. You get set on fire, raped, and then set on fire again.
It's just too much negativity I hear about New York that I don't even think I'd want to go visit it. If I was to visit something similar to New York, I would rather go to Japan. Japan would be a way better New York.
I have relatives there. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Japan.
Oh, sorry for your relatives. I hope they at least live in a good part of New York. I'm sure there's probably some good parts.
Well, upstate New York's like Texas in a way.
Cool.
It's like cold Texas.
Cold Texas. Washington laws may many times help bad companies win the court cases. They are luckily.
Choice of law, despite all this wrangling and Gun Run's little tricks that his team put together.
Case just for fun.
You can't escape some mandatory California labor laws even with this clause. But it indeed shows they were trying to be tricky with their choice of law. While they don't have any office there, their headquarters is in California, they decide to apply Washington law. Very interesting forum shopping, as we call it there.
I want to see an episode of South Park that goes through Vshojo.
Or just a VTuber. Make Carmen Gun Run. That would... It'd be like the charity episode.
Oh, yeah.
They could just copy and paste it and it'd be funny.
Going on here, there's no admission of liability, so nobody's saying they're guilty. And this is very interesting. We have their attorney information, which is Odin Law at 4600 Marriott Drive, Studio 520 of Raleigh, North Carolina. So now we know their attorney. A lot of people have said, hey, their attorney was this, disbarred attorney or whatever, an attorney without a license. Well, no, they did have this drafted by these people. Now, the law firm, and I'm not disparaging them in any way, shape, or form. They look like a competent law firm. I've looked at those.
Butter's VTube model would be Professor Chaos.
Or to try to do something sexual, like a voice changer, and it'd be like that one episode where his mind breaks because he's reading all the comments online. Remember that episode?
Yeah.
Their website looks fancy. I even think I may know somebody at that law firm potentially. I may have run into them at some point. But Beyond that, they may have just gotten a template and filled out a template, which may be the case, right? That oftentimes is.
Dude, that would be a good way for South Park to bring back the anime episode, where they were like the anime characters and they had the weapons and stuff. Have them be their V2 models. That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Is the case. So that's their attorney. They've got an attorney, Odin Law. And here's a very interesting one. If the employee breaches this to the extent authorized by Washington law, the employee will be held responsible for payment of all reasonable attorney's fees that the employer incurred enforcing the terms. So what this means is they are attempting to threaten them with lawyers' fees if they do something like, for example, talk on X. That's one reason.
Would that could be considered as blackmail by chance?
It can be, and like you said, I think I saw the long form of this. Suffer V2 Park.
Self-tubers.
Oh, that part is evil. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the talents are being careful, and I
considered
guarantee you, this clause is also in the agreements they're either trying to push in front of the Vshojo talent or they already have, right? That is one that is definitely going to be there. So you can't modify this by any other way, any other statements, any other method. And that's also very important because what may happen here is a lot of times you may say, well, Gunrun told me in a DM, or maybe somebody told me somewhere else that this was going to be this way, right? Because they were probably promised something by other people.
Yeah, I told you the $6,600 in 6 days. Yeah.
I feel like Gunrun is Carmen.
And it just didn't pan out that way, right? Because a lot of times in staff situations, you'll have a manager tell you something, but that manager's verbal promise or email isn't really binding. What's binding is in a contract. So regardless of what they told you or promised you, talent first, right, guys? Talent first, right? That isn't necessarily how it will play out in the reality. And last but not least, we have the signature block. So you guys know this is legit. We have the signature block for Vshojo and for the employer. So guys, this has a lot of potential value for the Vshojo talent that may be trying to sign this, and also for employees in the past. What do you guys think about the contract? Do you think it's crazy? What do you think it is?
Trash.
Let me know in the comments below.
It's horrible. It's
Yeah.
blackmail. That was just horrible. Well, thank you all for joining us for this video. Goodbye. Hey.
Thank you all for joining me. Please like, subscribe, and comment. It would make me very happy. Kiss, kiss, hug, hug.